Good morning and welcome to Life Daily with Dawn. We are continuing our All Systems Go video series. We're looking at the last system set of 8 of the 24 life systems or solar systems. These life systems support you as you come to life and live in full expression. And it is all about the fact that you are, as you are right now, no matter the state of your life as you see it, a dynamic and sustainable system, fully equipped for thriving in this life. And so these 24 life systems are a reconnection to your essential self, journey, and truth, the light, the life, and the love you are at your core. Today we're taking a look at the first of the 8 C systems. C is an acronym for Soul, Essence, Art, and Adventures, and it's just the approach. We're on the path of soul expansion with this system set, and the first of the 8 C systems is the Inner Connection Map System. So it's number 17 of the 24, and the Inner Connection Map System is about connecting to your essential truth, the love you are at your core. There are 8 momentum action pathways to embrace the sacred mystery of your soul's journey and to trust that life is working in your favor. And so these steps are not necessarily sequential, but they are rather access points and momentum action pathways. The acronym for that is MAP, and together they're a map for how to practice this inner connection that then will lead you to your essential truth, and when practiced with the other 24 life systems, to full thriving in your life and your life's work. So the first momentum action pathway of the Inner Connection Map System is to open up a sacred space. This is about setting aside time and space in your life every day for quiet reflection, for meditation, for reconnection to nature or to other sources of inspiration. But more than just sources, external sources of inspiration, it's about you connecting with the internal source, because you are sourced from within eternally. And so it's about a reorientation to that, and that requires a daily practice of some form. And this will help you to reconnect to your essential truth. So create a sanctuary for your soul by designating a specific space, if you have that available to you. It can be small in your home, and or by creating an inner spaciousness. Definitely do that regardless. So I've done both. I've had an outdoor space to which I used to go every day when I lived in a place where I was able to do that, and it was sacred to me and so beautiful, and it was nourishing to my soul, and it opened up that sacred space. You can also do something as simple. I have used just a simple box in what do you call those, treasure like chest thing in the corner of my room as my space. Before, right at the moment it's a little difficult because of the space that I'm in here. So what I do is I go to a specific seating area, and I gather specific things around me, candle or a particular book or my journal or my doodle book. But in any case, create that space for yourself. So the first momentum action pathway is to open up a sacred space. The second pathway is to, from within, call out and access your spiritual counsel. I also call this your life counsel. And this is these are the soul journey guides that you're going to invite to support you as you listen closely for the call of your soul, the call of spirit, and as you begin to move through life in a whole new way. So who are those individuals? They can be living or passed on, but who are those who inspire you, and who, not just for what they did, though. It's important, I think, to choose people that that represent who you want to be. So what you want to do, very simply, I have a journey I hope to release again before too long, and the book, I don't think it's available right now. I'll make it available soon. But there is a process you can do to call out and access your spiritual counsel, your life counsel. But for now, all you need to do is envision those people, write down their names, and just invite them to share with you. There's not any strange practice or anything. It's just inviting them into the space that you have created, and at any point you can, change that. You are the one that decides that. So I can't go too deep into that, but think about that. Who would you like to gather around you as you make this journey of the soul? The third momentum action pathway is to surround yourself with reminders that call you back to your whole self and your soul self, and to keep those reminders in your daily awareness. In the beginning, somewhere really obvious is great, and include them in your daily reconnection practice. So this could look like, a particular object that is important to you, a stone, something from nature, a feather. I often pick up feathers on my walks, or it could be a particular book, as I mentioned. It's something that calls you back to the wholeness of who you are. The fourth momentum action pathway is to imagine a magical place filled with wonder right there within your soul. And there's an ever-expanding universe within you from which you can enter into that, and then access that path of soul expansion from there, from that point of your essential truth, even if you can't define it yet. Live from that. And then, so as you do this daily reconnection practice, you want to enter into this magical place that's filled with wonder, with reverence and awe and appreciation and honor. And it can look like anything you want. I created for myself, I love waterfalls. So long time ago, this is a part of my story. I was able to envision a particular waterfall where these, fragmented pieces of me essentially would come and stand. And even though I had no hope whatsoever about actually walking through life whole and integrated, I would envision this faithfully. And then I decided one day, what I really want is, it's not really here on earth. And then I realized, well, so what? And so I created this vision of my inner spaciousness where there were 10 or 12 waterfalls all coming in together, and going down, and then the rivers going out in every direction. And it was quite beautiful for me. And so that became my magical place filled with wonder. The fifth momentum action pathway is to design, collect, or create real or imaginary gifts that support your reconnection. So your gift and it can be imaginary. Again, it doesn't have to be something you go out and purchase, but it could be like a plant, special plant, a symbol, a found object from nature, a photo of you as a child that you particularly love, or just anything that inspires you. And you want to begin to, you can have a collection of gifts, and they can be tangible or they can be just imagined. And so again, another example of how I use this one, I have not had the resources to purchase certain things that I would like to have in my home one day, but there's a particular object that meant something to me and represented something for me. And so I would imagine that every time I'd sit down, I would imagine that in myself, in that magical place. And then I would imagine this particular imaginary gift that was being restored to me, to my soul, and knowing that all things are possible. I would say with God, but from life, all things are possible, and so that would be a part of my reconnection practice. The sixth momentum action pathway is to draw upon the well of wisdom of others, and to invest time each day to listen to the song of your own soul, because your wise self. I used to talk about your wise woman within, your wise warrior within. Many years ago when I first started doing this sort of spiritual work, that was the way that I did it, talking about, at the time, spiritual business, and also about, the spiritual path and how we can return to the four traditions. Native traditions. So in any case, draw upon the well of wisdom of others and your own knowing. And so this might look like reading particular books that are meaningful to you, or that you have a resonance with the author, or the wisdom, that teaching that is in that text, whether that's a treasure text as in one of the three monotheistic religious traditions, or whether that is something else for you. So draw upon that well of wisdom, though. It's an active practice, not just a passive acknowledgement. The seventh momentum action pathway is to design a daily soul connection practice. So really begin to bring some structure and discipline into that. This is about intentionality. It's about entering that sanctuary of your soul, preferably every morning and every evening before you sleep. It's very important to do that. And so I've used a number of techniques for this. And I had to use a technique in the beginning because while I'm quite disciplined in terms of how I show up now, sometimes I think that's just because life has made it impossible to be otherwise for me. But in any case, in the beginning, it was really important to do it both in the morning and the evening. And I've used all kinds of techniques. So centering prayer, meditation, music, visualization, art, and as well as my soul essence art exploration practice, the way that I do that and use doodling and words, kind of a doodle journal thing. But choose some way for you that feels good. Just follow the flow of what comes. And if nothing comes, then just, you might want to just, draw lines on a page or shapes on a page for 5 minutes, or, whatever that first thing you do to connect, or listen to a piece of music that connects you with your soul self, your whole self. And so choose a way that you can explore and express and expand your soul within that daily practice, your soul connection practice. The 8th momentum action pathway is to practice soul inquiry on a daily basis. So you want to open up a dialogue with your soul and say yes, 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 yes to life. And you want to welcome your essential truth and not be afraid of that. And you want to, at least within this sacred space that you create, this sanctuary for your soul, you want to be 100% relentlessly authentic and aligned with your heart's truest, deepest desires and your soul's truth and radiance, your star power that we've talked about before, looking at these life systems, and begin to express gratitude every day for this gift that you have, because it is a gift beyond compare, and it's so many of us miss it because we're all busy trying to achieve something here or whatever. But express gratitude as you embrace a whole new way of freeing yourself that is so simple. It is just a return to the whole of who you are by taking just a little bit of effort to create an intentional space for you to reconnect day by day. And this is how we embrace a new vision for the nexus of change in our lives. It is how we free ourselves and free the world, and the truth will set us free. And that essential truth that is right there for you right now, it's waiting for you. So how can you create a richer and more rewarding connection to your soul's truth? So this the system, the inner connection system, it weaves together these momentum action pathways that provide a map for reconnecting to your essential truth and all that matters most. So let me repeat the 8 momentum action pathways of the inner connection map system. They are: number 1, open up a sacred space. Number 2, from within that sacred space, call out and access your spiritual counsel or your life counsel. These are wisdom guides, essentially. Number 3, surround yourself with reminders that call you back to your whole self and your soul self. Number 4, imagine a magical place filled with wonder within that soul space. Number 5, design, collect, or create real or imaginary gifts that support your reconnection. Number 6, draw upon the well of wisdom of others and your own soul's truth. Number 7, design a daily soul connection practice. And momentum action pathway number 8, practice soul inquiry on a daily basis. This is about saying, it's an affirmation of who you are, of your life, of your radiance that many of us dim down at the least, and some of us literally turn to unhealthy behaviors to snuff it out. So practice that on a daily basis, and I assure you, at the very least, you will find moments of peace and joy and love in your day. And if you continue it over an extended period of time, from my experience anyway, is that it did open up a whole new way of seeing myself and the world around me, a whole new way of being, and a whole new way of freeing myself in the unlikeliest of circumstances.